Alright folks, welcome back to the channel, and it's time to get into Season 2 of The Simpsons. Alright, alright. The Simpsons Season 2 is officially here, or at least it was 30 years ago. And we're kicking it off with the most relatable kid in Springfield, Bart Simpson. Our boy's back at it, trying to avoid schoolwork like it's radioactive waste. And honestly, same Bart, titled Bart Gets an F, originally aired on October 11th, 1990, and was the most watched episode in the show's history at the time. Why? Because people really wanted to know if Bart was finally going to face the music and flunk 4th grade. Spoiler alert, he kind of does, but not without tugging on your heartstrings first. So, the episode opens with Bart flunking another history test. Miss Krabappel gives him a big fat F, and Principal Skinner tells him he's on thin ice. Like, break through and sink into the icy depths kind of ice. It's serious. And the school psychologist gets involved, so you know it's bad. The episode shifts into surprisingly emotional territory. Bart isn't just slacking off, he genuinely tries to improve. He even gets help from Martin Prince, the nerdiest of the nerds. Bart's chaotic energy clashes with Martin's uptight ways, and of course it goes off the rails. But it's also weirdly wholesome. Eventually, Bart studies his butt off, like, legitimately tries. And when he still fails the test by 1 point, he actually cries. Cries. This is one of the first times the show hit us with real emotion. It's not just a gag-a-minute cartoon anymore. This is storytelling with heart. In a moment of vulnerability, Bart recalls a key historical fact in his sadness, and Miss Krabappel gives him a D- out of pure sympathy and recognition of effort. He barely passes. But the emotional growth? That's an A+. This episode is doing more than just making jokes about American history. It explores themes like academic pressure, insecurity, and the feeling of being left behind. It's a perfect reminder that The Simpsons can mix satire with genuine humility and humanity. And that's why it works. It's also worth noting that this episode was Fox's highest rated broadcast at the time, beating The Cosby Show. This episode marked a significant shift in the show's production. It was the first to feature a new opening sequence, shortened by 15 seconds from its original length of roughly 90 seconds. The first season's opening sequence shows Bart stealing a bus stop sign, while the new sequence features him skateboarding past several characters introduced during the previous season. Animator David Silverman described the Snow Day sequence as one of the most challenging to animate, featuring multiple panoramic shots and complex timing. Over the summer of 1990, Bart's rebellious nature was characterized by some parents and conservatives as a poor role model for children, leading several American public schools to ban t-shirts featuring Bart with captions like, "I'm Bart Simpson, who the hell are you?" and "Underachiever and proud of it, man." I think I have a few of those shirts in my collection. Despite this, the episode received positive reviews from television critics. Entertainment Weekly ranked it 31st on its 1999 list of the 100 greatest moments in television. By the time Season 2 rolled around, The Simpsons was no longer some scrappy upstart animated sitcom. It was a cultural juggernaut, and that shift is very visible in the animation. The color palette became bolder, the character models looked tighter and more consistent, backgrounds had more detail, and timing way sharper. Compare Season 1 to this episode and you'll see the pacing is smoother, the character movement is more impressive. and expressive. And Springfield itself feels lived in. This is where the show's iconic visual identity really starts to solidify. You can also tell the animators were experimenting more. Take the snow day scene. That sequence is almost cinematic. You've got Bart racing to the library, the camera panning across snowy streets, characters interacting in the background. It's layered, dynamic, and full of personality. Now let's hit you with some fun facts you might have missed. Martin's transformation was based on real kids. When Martin abandons Bart after learning to embrace his cool side, it's not just a plot gag. It was inspired by real schoolyard dynamics. The writers wanted to explore how status and identity shift so easily for kids. Martin's little arc shows that even nerds can get power hungry when given a chance. This was the first time we saw Bart really vulnerable, like crying on a desk vulnerable, as I mentioned before. The writers actually debated this moment heavily because they didn't want to make Bart soft, but it totally paid off. It made him more human, and it showed audiences that The Simpsons could hit emotional beats as hard as the funny ones. So yeah, Bart Gets an F might seem like just another Bart Goofs Off episode on the surface, but underneath it, you've got production breakthroughs, emotional character development, and one of the most iconic premieres in TV history. Season 2 starts strong, and trust me, it only gets better from here. So stay tuned to the next episode.